One of the things you want to do is to figure out a way to better satisfy your customers, not only when you're serving them directly with your service, but afterwards as well. This is what we're doing here at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. I'm going to show you in this video how you can really multiply what you're doing in a big way. This is going to be important. And we got the information from one of the best anywhere for professional speakers, Lois Creamer. Lois showed us how to do certain things like follow-up and how to do aftercare after you give a presentation, some brilliant ways to help the client more and to generate more revenue for you, how to connect with them, licensing, and some other things. Gina Carr and I got a chance to talk to her about that in a recent meeting, and I wanted to give you this. I've been going through, taking my notes here, putting my notes down there of what she said and how to capture that, and like how to be a resource, how to focus on finding the how and the why, how you can do this linking and helping people to put that together. She also talks about a virtual event that you can put together afterwards. Hey, now even if you're not a professional speaker, you're not making presentations, you're going to get some gems in this. One of the things that Dan Kennedy has taught us really well, great marketer himself, when he said you want to look at different industries and figure out how to use it in yours. Those who are not doing well are the ones that will hear something from a different industry and go, oh, that doesn't apply to me, I'm not in that industry. Those who are really smart say, oh, okay, I'm in banking business. I'm just picking something at random here. I'm in banking business, and this is what they did at that donut shop. You know what? We could do something similar to that in our bank. This is what you want to do as you listen to Lois. Now, this is a little bit different video. It's going to go a little bit longer, and I want to give you a lot of content on it, so you'll be able to do it. And then stick around to the end, because I'm going to be back and give you some ways that you can start implementing this and other ideas in your business. I'm Terry Brock. Thanks for joining me here. And now join me as you see me introducing Lois Creamer and get to know this wonderful lady, Lois Creamer, and how she is going to help you build your business. So that is a good thing and lots of good there. But speaking of good things, today, the reason we are all here is for our special guest speaker today. And Gina and I just were like little kids giddy with glee when we knew we would get her to come and be with us, because we've known this wonderful lady for a long time. Many of you have as well. You know, she is a friend of Stark Raving Entrepreneurs, has been with us for a long time, and she helps people in a really profound way. She is able to help people, predominantly speakers, consultants, trainers, to book more business. Matter of fact, that's the book that she has, and she has a revision of that book. We're going to be talking to her about what it is, what's available in there. But I got to tell you, she is a person I have known probably for a couple of decades through my experience with the National Speakers Association. I have seen Lois Creamer in many situations. I've heard her speak many times. Every time, I'm using those words carefully, every time I hear her, I learn something new that is useful for me, that helps me. She gives me the help to learn how to improve my speaking, because I always want to get better. Always want to get better in the business side of it, particularly is the area that she hones in on, how to get more business. And she has helped me a lot on that. And I've been around, those of you who know me, I've been around for over 41 years now. I earned the CSP, Certified Speaking Professional designation. That takes a lot of work to get that, and I did it. And I've also been grateful that NSA has awarded me with some very nice designations that I'm very honored to have received. And I want you to know with that, even I've done all that, I look at what Lois Creamer has done, and I am really amazed. She is humble, she's professional, she's kind, she delivers a message that resonates. And so for today, I would recommend turn off your phones, turn off the distractions, grab your paper and pen or note-taking device of choice, and get ready to take some notes, particularly as she talks about her new book that's out. And by the way, I read her book not once, not twice, 3 times already, the revised version. The reason? I'm getting that much good out of it. It is just teeming with information. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our distinct privilege and an honor to welcome Lois Creamer. Lois, welcome aboard.
Well, thanks. I feel like I want to quit while we're ahead. Thanks for coming, everybody. This is, you read that just the way I wrote it, Terry, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you.
Actually, I can't read that fast, so that had to come from the heart.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Sure. Well, we appreciate you and what you've done. And I mean that. And so now we're taking a look at this thing called how to build your business, how to book more business. I love the way they use that as the title. And now you had a book before with the same title, but now you've come up with a second edition of it. And by the way, I'm glad you did because I've read both. But
Thanks.
tell us, what was the premise behind that? Why the second book?
Well, two reasons for the second book. I was totally bullied into it. I'm going to be totally honest with you.
Bully.
Our friend Jess Pettit has been talking to me about this for quite a while, asking me to redo it with some new material that I've written and had up on social media for a number of years. And I think also I had breakfast with two young speakers who came into St. Louis, Terry, who were speaking at the same event. And they said, would you come and have breakfast with us? And I was thrilled. I was tickled to death, especially because they were buying. So, of course, I went down. We had a nice breakfast. They walked me out to my car after we were done. And they both said, we want you to know we recommend your book whenever people come up and say, I'm interested in speaking. What's it like? And I said, thanks. And I got in my car. I'm driving home and I'm realizing that that original book was written in 2017 and doesn't have the word virtual in it. And I really thought I need to update it. Things have changed. There's been so many new things, not the least of which AI is now come and just transformed our business, really, as it is many businesses. But I also had some new thoughts and content on other things, and that's why I decided to update it. A few people that I had great respect for were urging me to do it, and I thought if I'm going to do it, now's the time to do it.
Well, tell us a little bit about what is new in this version of the book. We'd love to see that. To hear from.
Well, yeah, virtual, Gina. Virtual changed everything. Gina and I are both big fans of virtual, by the way. More fans of virtual than spending time in airports. I think I can say for both of us, Gina. But virtual has changed everything. Certainly with COVID, it was a lifeline to people in our industry. And the good news is virtual really is not going anywhere. Virtual has been a great piece of business for lots of speakers and consultants. I think that it's a wonderful tool, especially for speakers who go in and speak in person, to be able to use virtual afterwards as a follow-up, as an adjunct service to help people apply what they have talked about on the platform. It becomes an irresistible tool for people in business. One of the things that we know now more than ever is that people like to learn in different ways. And our job is to accommodate that. And virtual and Zoom absolutely have leveled the playing field for many and allow us another income stream for professional speakers. I just did a market intelligence report. It's on my website for any of you who want to read it, who haven't read it. 2025, I think, is going to be the best year in speaking that we've ever had. I think there's never been a better time to be in this business than right now. Virtual is going to help you make money. And so be considering, what are the ways that I can combine my in-person events with virtual? I have a chapter in my book called Aftercare. It's something that I developed a number of years ago after stumbling, I should say strategically thinking, but stumbling into it with a client that I was talking to after an event, after 4 of his salespeople came up to talk to me after I presented to this company. And I thought it was so interesting that they all came together and they wanted to talk to me. And so on my follow-up call after the program, thanking the decision maker for bringing me in, I said, do you think it would make sense? One of my phrases that pays, do you think it would make sense for me to work with your sales managers to actually apply the ideas, tactics, and techniques I talked about in the platform? And then he said something that just killed me. He said, what would that look like? I had no idea because I hadn't planned on saying it. So, but I was smart enough to say, I will give you some options. I'll send you an email, some options in the email for you to think about. Then I'll tell you what I did. I went over to my bookcase and I got out Alan Weiss's book on consulting and read about how he put some proposals together with 3 options. That's what I did. The next morning, I came up with 30, 60, and 90-day proposal for this client. I emailed it And 10 minutes after I emailed it, he sent me an email back and said, I'd like plan B. And then I spent the rest of the day doing this. I still have an indentation in my forehead thinking, why have I not done this before now? Never again did I work for a corporation or a private client doing a sales program where I did not offer them aftercare. It didn't mean they always bought it, but many of them did. And sometimes I made much more money on the back end than I did giving the speech. So I think that that's a big thing that's changed, Gina. Also, I think that we have to look at licensing. There is more and more video of us out there. Almost every time you're speaking, people are taking video now. That wasn't always the case. The good news is you're going to have lots of video to work with, as Terry said, to put on social media. The bad news is you need to control how that is used. Professionals control how their intellectual property is used in the marketplace. So being able to offer, I used to offer, when I used to do sales programs, I used to offer 30 days of people to look at the video if they wanted to. They could keep the video, show it to people who couldn't make the meeting, that kind of thing. I stipulated in an AV contract that you could not share it outside of the company. You could not charge for anybody to watch it. So I stipulated some certain criteria, and then I said you can use it for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, I'll ask you to remove it from your server, or I will be happy to talk about licensing extended use. I think this is a professional approach. One of the challenges of licensing video, one of the challenges of video is lots of times it's not on our intranet. It's on the client's intranet. And I always say there are two ways you can handle, really three ways you can handle that. Number one, you can hire a lawyer at the end of 30 days to serve them and make sure it's off their intranet. Second, you can get a black turtleneck, a black stocking cap, and a mask and sneak in after hours, find their intranet, delete your part of it, and then sneak back out and hope that there weren't cameras everywhere. There probably were. Or third, you can call it marketing. You can put a written request, just an email saying, I'd like you to remove it from your intranet. It's 30 days. And I look forward to the next time I can come back and do another program for you. But if they don't remove it, think of it as marketing. So those are some of the things. And I mean, I'm not even getting into AI, Gina. And I mean, this is the place for AI, start raving entrepreneurs. AI has changed everything for us. It's allowed us to, as content curators, to come up with more in less time. It's been a great place to find ideas, a great place to get assistance when you're selling, a great place to help you craft emails that are going out, funnels that you want to lock into your business. It's also been great for prospecting, for target markets, and prospecting for events. So it's, and video, look at what AI is doing with video. I remember I was down with Gina and Terry in their chapter just a couple of months ago, and Terry recorded the whole thing in Castmagic. Now, we still haven't decided what we're going to do with it, Terry, but the whole thing is in Castmagic. And I was just so excited at the thought of being able to capture some video and then thinking how we're going to use that. But those are a few of the things that I've included in this edition that weren't touched in the first edition. A long answer to a shorter question, Gina.
Yeah, well, I think those are good. As a matter of fact, I love what you said. There was one of the things that you put into that book that I hadn't seen before and hadn't really thought about, but the aftercare that you talked about. That is just nothing short of brilliant. And it really is good with relationship marketing. You're not just there for one speech and then it's over. You become a partner with them. Not in the legal sense necessarily, but you're there to help them. And I know you've recommended that in a lot of your clients. You do a lot of work with speakers, helping them with the nitty gritty. Here, do this, don't do that. And this over here you're doing, stop that. And that, do more of that. You're really good at that. You've seen some that are implementing aftercare. Can you think of some examples of what could have been, what has been done, or what could be done if someone says they're doing a program on a given topic, and they do that topic, the speech went really well, the client was happy. what would be some examples we can get a little bit more nitty gritty of where they could implement aftercare?
Yeah, I'll talk to you about what I did. That's what I know best. Let me also say some elements of aftercare, which are how can I continue this relationship with a client, is what I think about aftercare. Some elements of those things you can consider when you're negotiating. If someone doesn't have your fee, I'm sure this never happens to you, but if someone doesn't have your fee and they quote you a lower amount, what can you throw in before you have to discount your fee? As an added value, and pieces of what I'm going to talk about are something that you might want to think about in that negotiation. But for aftercare, I used to give 30, 60, 90 days. And I'm going to give you an example. The level 1 follow-up was weekly sales meetings with the sales managers. And I would also do some customized articles every week. And they were typically stuff that I had already written, but I went back and customized it for this specific business. Second
I like
option,
that.
yeah.
I think that's genius. You've got material already. With a little bit of a twist, you can make it appropriate for this company because it worked with that other one. You just massage it and personalize it for them.
That's right. That's
Great
right. That
idea.
was easy. So the second option, I might add one thing. So I might add consulting with 1 hour of consulting for every other week with sales managers. In fact, that's exactly what I did. 1 hour every other week with sales managers. The pricing of all this depended upon how many sales managers were there. Mm-hmm. And then the third option might be everything that you've just heard, but I also might include situational responsiveness. So they can email me if they have a question. On some of them that didn't have too many sales managers, I said, you can call me and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. And I took that very seriously if you had a question or comment. And then I would price these. Obviously, level 1 was the cheapest. They would go up. And what I did, and this is not unlike our friend Lori Guest with Sweet Spot pricing, I would make the second option the one I really wanted to sell. The first one was bare bones. The second one was the one I really wanted to sell. The third one, I offered more and more services for a longer period of time. It was my least favorite, but typically I made that a lot higher price so I could buy a lot of aspirin to take if they chose that and wouldn't whine too much. But I found after playing around with it that 30, 60, 90 days was a good way to format it. Any longer, sometimes people just wander away from it. And I could keep them for 90 days. I knew. And I knew I could keep them for 30 or 60. 90 was about the maximum. I had a 6-month when I first started out. That was a miserable failure. I'm admitting to you right now, because people would wander away and I didn't feel very satisfied about it. Apparently they did, but I just didn't think it was the best.
Yeah, well, you're doing what's right for you as well as for them, but you're opening up so that you're really solving problems. And it's one of the big things I've been talking about. I think we should all be CSPs. And I don't necessarily mean certified speaking professional, although that is good, and I think that's great. It is for me and for many people, but communicators who solve problems. And so what you're doing in aftercare, you're solving problems. You're communicating that in a variety of different ways. And it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's going to be good no matter what happens with the economy going forward. What do you think?
Boy, absolutely, Terry. And you're absolutely right. You know, the thing that I found was the whole dynamic changed when somebody took me up on speaking and then aftercare. Then you become not just a speaker or a consultant, you become a resource to your client, which I think is the highest calling. And when you're a resource, you are always going to be the first choice when they need someone. And I used to tell my clients, and I tell all my clients now in Book More Business, I am always happy to tell you what I do and what I don't do. And I will joyfully refer what I don't do. There's a lot that I don't do. And I'm happy to make those referrals. And I always did when speaking, and I was always happy to refer what my expertise was not. In fact, on my old sales site, and I don't do these programs, sales programs now for corporate, I used to have a frequently asked questions, Terry. And the first question was, besides sales, what do you speak on? Answer, nothing. If you want something else, I'll refer you, but I won't do it. I think that that's really important. It's one of the big messages I give to speakers and consultants. Don't think of the world as your oyster. Don't cast too wide a net. You will attract more people with a smaller net. And sometimes that's a little counterintuitive to some people, but it's the truth.
I love that. And I'm such a big believer in going deep in a particular market and really letting the people that you serve know that that's what you focus on. It's the way that I hire specialists and experts, and have heard so many people over the years that that's the way they hire as well. So I think that that's key. I think that's been a big part of your success, is clearly saying, I help speakers, I work with speakers. And so that's what's made you a legend in this business. But let's talk a little bit more about licensing, because I'm trying to get clear in my mind what the distinction between aftercare versus licensing just of the video that I would have shared versus, let's say that I had some pre-recorded or some recorded videos, some segments basically within my university that I had some recorded course that would be complementary to what I spoke about. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on licensing. I know you have a lot about it in your my new favorite book.
Why, thank you very much. You know, a recording of the speech you just gave can be part of aftercare, giving them the use of that for 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, whatever it is. That can be an element of aftercare. I want you to think of any other resources that you bring to your business, as well as any other products, services that you bring to your business. So your newsletter might be part of aftercare. Any of your consulting courses might be part of your aftercare. A membership group could be part of aftercare. But I think that it's different as you price these things, Gina, and it's hard to talk about money here, because I think that licensing fees should be a percentage of the fee that the client paid to bring you in initially. As far as training videos, you probably already have a price on those if you're selling those as part of your business. But you need to think about, how can I price this organizationally versus individually? I think that's a hard nut to crack, and I don't always know the answer, but I'll tell you, I know how to tell you to get the answer, and that's to do market intelligence online. There are people doing what you want to do. Your job is to find out where they are, who their clients are, what they're charging, and how successful they are at what you want to do. And then you want to look at what their experience is compared to yours, what their ability is compared to yours, what their market is compared to yours. So it's hard to talk about specifics about money, but aftercare can be just about anything. You know, primarily for me, it was always my speech was consulting, coaching, membership groups, or courses, books, products. And then these things, as I just said a little while ago, when you're negotiating any one of these things, could I throw something in that would make this a package deal for you? What if everybody was able to walk away with a copy of the companion book to my program, and I'd include that in? Would that make this work? What if I was able, and I want to tell you something that a lot of our colleagues are throwing in that really works well, and it is so easy. I did this when I did a program for the International Coaching Federation. I did an hour of Q&A after my program. I did a live taped program because they're all over the world and they wanted to show it in different time zones. So I did a live taped program, which they showed. Then I did 3 one-hour segments live in different time zones. It was fun at dark 30, sitting live. But I want you to know, I was merely answering questions that came up from content that I shared in my program. So there was no preparation for this. The only preparation was for me to get some coffee and get in front of the camera for some of them. And I kept thinking, I wonder how this is going to work. It worked really well. And there was no heavy lifting on my end. I was just sharing what I already knew. They came away with some questions and wanted some examples from the program that I shared. So a lot of our colleagues are offering, what if I could sit down and do an hour Q&A virtually, 72 hours after the event? You don't want to make it too long because then memories may fade, but 72 hours or so after the event, anyone who attended can come on with me live. I'll answer any questions. We can talk about any part of my presentation that's been helpful. That is really valuable, and a lot of people have been using that to negotiate.
Lois Creamer is amazing. Those were real gems, and I know that you got some good value out of it. That's what we do at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs, and we want to have you come and visit us sometime if you can. We would love to have you over there. We have our program out, and you can find out about it. Go over to Stark Raving Entrepreneurs, and also over to starkravingevent.com. This way you'll get a chance to see what we're doing and how we work and how you can start building your business with the ideas we have using AI and doing a lot of other things. And also we've got something goodie that I want to give you that'll help you in the world of AI. We've put together a special free resource, AIToolsForBiz.com. You notice it says AI Tools, and that's for the number 4, B-I-Z. Notice all lowercase. You're going to find out about tools like ChatGPT, Canva, and how they are doing some amazing things with AI. DALL-E 3 for creating great pictures. Lexica Art. Udly. Udly is great for learning a speech training system. A speech coach that is artificial intelligence that helps you to put that together. Really, really nice stuff. So anyway, all of that will be there and more. You can get that information. Here's a good QR code for those of you that are joining us on video. You can look at that. If you're joining on audio, it's AI Tools, the number 4, biz.com. And we will look forward to hearing from you on that. You got questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below or get in touch with us there at the website. Do that. And we've got some other good videos coming your way to show you about AI, particularly how you can start implementing these right away in your business. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much for joining us today.